Okay, you guys. So I titled this called Black People Remote Controlled. Okay, what I mean by that is I had a dream some time ago. Not too long ago, might have been two to 3 months ago. Okay. And if you know anything about dreams, dreams are actually you call it the subconscious. It's the spiritual world. It's actually what's really happening. Okay, and what's going on in our physical world is a result of what's already happened in the spiritual world. Okay, so in this particular dream, it was me and it was other black people. Okay, and we were like in this building, like in this room. Okay, and it's almost like everybody was talking, acting regular, normal. And then the next thing I know, it was almost like it was a curfew for black people, right? And so, but not the curfew like you stay in your house. It was a curfew like they shut your mind off or something, like you have to go back into the basement. So what happened was it was black people just having fun talking. It was like inside of a house. The lights were on. It was like black people were all around the living room and the foyer and all those places. I was there too. And then the next thing I know, it's like it was somebody else in control. It was somebody else who was in control. Okay. And when I looked at the person who looked like she might have been in control, it was a real big fat lady. Now that's symbolic, of something else, but it looked like there was some other type of entity in control. And so when it was time for the black people to close it down, it was almost like the floor, like you like something leads down to a particular basement. So it was like something in the floor opened. And then the black people, it was almost like they were like robots. Okay, it's like they stopped everything they were doing. And it was like they were robots. And they all went downstairs like robots. Like if you ever watch a movie, everybody's walking in unison, like controlled robots. Okay, that is what I saw. It's like, okay, time to go back to sleep, time to rise and shine. It's like black people were remote controlled. And I have to say, I think I've waken up because then I was one of the people walking too. But when I looked, I said, wait a minute, I'm not going down there. But that meant that I woke up because it could have been a time when I was like going downstairs. And a lot of people don't really realize their sleep. They don't understand their sleep. Now, here's what does sleep mean? Being awake in this physical world, thinking that you're woke, you really sleep. You're not awake until you become awakened to your true authentic self. And that is the part that you cannot see. Until you are awakened to that part of yourself, you are asleep. This consciousness is not being aware of racism and being aware of this little silly stuff that goes on in this mundane fake world that doesn't really exist. Okay. The only thing that exists, of course, is lights, information, all that stuff. The physical world does not exist. So being awake is not necessarily being awake to what's going on social media and what conscious people like to call white racism or whatever they want to call it. That's not, sorry about that. That's not called being awake. That's not awake. If you are not awake to your authentic self, and I'm not talking about your identity in this particular that you're in right now. I'm not talking about that. Like, say, if your name is Sarah, and you say, well, I know who I am, and you define yourself according to your ego self, according to what you've learned since from childhood to now, and you feel like you know who that's your ego. Your true self is invisible. It's a spirit, and it has nothing to do with the character in this particular movie that you played, in this particular life experience. Your true self have nothing to do with that. Okay, we're just characters in the movie. But anyway, so Because I've woken up to my true authentic self, my divine self, I didn't go down those stairs because I woke up. But every other black person went down those steps. Okay, they're trying to do everything possible to keep black people from waking up. And now I make these type of audios because it pertains heavily to black women. It's like this extra effort. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's effort to control humanity, period. But there is 2 times, 3 to 4 times the effort to control black women. And that's why some of us have pleaded for black women to please stop paying attention to anything that is negative towards them, whether it's their counterparts or anybody else. Okay, especially in the media. Okay, and kind of constantly focusing on topics that just might bring you down unless there's some kind of solution. Unless there's some kind of solution, it's best not to focus on any kind of topics that's going to bring you down and make you feel defeated unless you have a solution and it's going to be followed by action. If you don't have solution followed by action, it's best not to focus on what's going on. It's best not to even pay attention to it. So, that'll be it. But I was just wanting to upload this talking about black people being remote controlled. And definitely I saw that in that house. It was like black people were talking, having fun. And the next thing I know, it was time to go back to sleep. And all of these black people, it's like they went downstairs underneath this house and it was dark. It was dark and they went downstairs and they looked like robots walking in unison and quiet. Like they got quiet and then they just went down these steps like they were robots. Okay? But anyway, you guys let me know what you think and I'll talk to you soon.